All right, get ready for this. This is going to be a fast and furious video. Well, not really. Anyway, so this is going to be the quick review on how to do this sheet, which is the conversions from fractions to decimal to percentage. So not too complicated. It's just a matter of getting it done. So I am assuming that you have done your room design. This is a project from last year I just happened to have. You see they were designing a museum. It wasn't a house, it was a museum. So they have their areas set up here, right? Green area, they've got the pink area. They have their initial calculations, and this was the calculation I was hoping you would get. So this here is the square area in centimeters of each area. Yours looks a little bit different. In yours, I'm looking for something that has area equals base times height, and you'll have an area of each room or large piece of furniture. So let's go to the project sheet. So this is what I handed out in class last week. It's up there. Let's just delete that. So this is also on your D2L. So you can download this and print it off if you don't have it. I have a fancy new software that lets me do all these fun things in here too. So hopefully it's a little clearer. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to write down the room description down here. Or let's say you have a bed that you're doing or a table. Make sure that's in there. Next thing is the area in centimeters squared. So I have 48, 32, 100. The other massive thing that I need you to make sure you have is this up here. Make sure you have the whole house area. That's the key calculation for everything else you're going to do. What you're doing here is you're calculating what percent of your house is each room. So over here, let's start with the kitchen. So this is how it looks. Kitchen, I have 48 centimeters squared. It's 48 is the room over the whole, which is 360. For those of you who feel confident, I'm going to reduce this fraction. So 48 and 360, I know 4 goes into it. So that takes me down to 12 over 90. Still not there, so I can continue to reduce down until I have lowest common terms here. So this is 2/15. Now, how do I get the raw decimal? What I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my calculator, and I go 12 divided by 90. That's just what a fraction is. And that's going to give me a different number than what I have in here. I change my numbers in here. Come on and delete. So let's just do this one together. Calculator, where'd you go? Calculator, there we go. So here's my raw decimal, 0.133333. So I only need 5 decimal places. So I'm going to go over here, 0.13333. Now, if I'm doing this in paper, I can put a line over those 3's, right? We talked about that a little bit in class. Rounded decimal, I want to go to the 100th spot. So 100th spot would be 2 decimal places. So I look to the number immediately to the right, this one here, which would be a 3. So that 3 is below 5. So my rounded decimal is going to be 0.13. Now this says 13 hundredths. My my fraction here is going to be 13 out of 100. 13, come on, right? 13. No. Hold on here. Got to go to a different plan here. Okay, it's going to be 13 out of 100 because it's 13 hundredths. Like that. And my percentage is going to be 13%. We're done. Next one. So here I get bedroom, 32 centimeters squared. Next thing I'm going to do is go 32 over 360. I can reduce that to 8 over 90. And then this one here, the reduced fraction. If you're totally freaked out about that, especially grade 6s, don't worry about it. Okay, it's not a huge deal. We can work on that the next couple of years. But what we're doing, we divide the top and the bottom by the same number. If you have an even number, you can at least take it down to by 2's until you can't go any further. So my final reduced fraction is 4 over 45. If I use 32 over 360, I'd get the same decimal. So here, if I go 32 divided by 360, I'm going to get 0.8 repeater. Well, let's do 4 over 45. Look at that, exact same. So it doesn't really matter which one you use here, but remember, we got to make sure it's accurate. So this is 0.08888. There's my 5 decimal places. Remember, I'm looking for the hundredth spot, which would be these here, 0.08. But look at that. My third number is an 8. If it's bigger than 5, if it's 5 or bigger, 0.0, I round up. We never round down. The number either stays the same, like it did in this one here, or it's going to go up. It never goes down. Now, this is tricky. This says 9 hundredths. So that's going to come like this, 9 out of 100. So really what we've done is we're rounding, and then we're rewriting that as a percentage. Last thing we do is we put in our 9%, because percent means out of 100. This is 9 out of 100. One more time. So here I've got 100 centimeters squared, 100 over 360. Remember, first thing I can do here, because they both have 10, I could easily take that down to 10 over 36. That reduces further to 5 over 18. Calculate it. 5 divided by 18. 0.277777. 0.27777. Same thing. These are the numbers I'm looking for, 0.27. The third number is a 7. Is it bigger than 5? 5 or bigger? It is. So it has to round up. Great, we write in our percentage, which is 28 out of 100. It's our math, it's a fancy new app I have, and it's 28%. Bada bing, bada bang, done. We're going to do that for all rooms, so until you have 15. There's 15 spots there, fill out the whole sheet. Okay, so this is mostly just kind of work that gets you going in that way. The other thing here is have a link to this. This is your animated prime factors. So for those of you who are doing the advanced lowest common denominator, this is the way I do it. So I take 360. You can prime factor it out. Here's a little calculator that does it for you. Let's get rid of that weird ad. So prime factors of 360 are 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 5. If I look at, for example, the prime factors for 48, I have 2 4s or 4 2s and a 3. So we're looking for what's common. So in this one, between these two, let's pull this one out. Between these two, come on, here we go. They share, there it is, that's better. They share over here, I have 3 2s. Here I have 4 2s. What do they share? They each have 3 2s, so that's 2, 4, 8. And then they also share a 3. 8 times 3 is 24. So if I wanted to do this one here, I could go right to divide them both by 24. All right, that part's a little more complicated. Not all of you are working at that level. Other than that, have a great week and bring questions to me next week. All right, have a good time last week, next week.